Trust the plan. Can you do that? It's been a difficult year from time to time, and then a really good year from time to time when it comes to finances. We're going to talk about money here for a moment. Deviate from the topic that's dominated the headlines for the last week now. Nick Hopwood, founder and president of Peak Wealth, leads his team of certified financial planners with the mantra, trust the plan. And you can always get a second opinion, peakwm.com/Gruber, peakwm.com/Gruber. When you need that second opinion, I talked to Nick. Why shouldn't you? Nick, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Steve. And hey, Steve, I want to say, I know how close you and Charlie were and how much he meant to you and how shaken all of us are, including you, but your professionalism covering this has been great. So I just want to offer, my thoughts on that.
Appreciate that. It's, it's been a difficult and challenging week, and I didn't know him as well as others, but I knew him, counted him as a friend and a colleague and a coworker. So, yeah, I appreciate that, Nick. It's a different America we wake up in today than it was before. Financially speaking, let's just move right into it. The Fed could make it a different financial world. When do they meet? Is that today?
Today and tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the announcement where we're expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. But the market has started already front-running that expectation. We've seen mortgage rates drop. We've seen the 10-year Treasury drop. So the market's kind of pricing this in, and maybe even more to come. We're expecting 2 more after tomorrow, so a total of 3 rate cuts this year. And so the market, like I said, is pricing it in. Rates are going lower across the board. So, if you've got one of these 7.5% mortgages, it might be time to take a look at what you can do for a refinance.
So I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm seeing rates right here. They claim between 4.5% and 4.7% APR for a fixed mortgage. Is that what you're seeing? I mean, I just jumped online to see. I think that sounds a little bit optimistic, but maybe it's not.
I just looked this up a moment ago. Wall Street Journal is saying a 30-year at 6.25%. So,
all right.
4 seems a little aggressive.
Yeah, I think that was just I think that was clickbait. I do have one here, though, that looks legitimate, 6.125%. So that'd be, pretty close in that area, 6.125. So potentially more cuts this year, because it's not just mortgages. It's buying a used car. It's getting a boat. It's doing a home improvement loan. Everything rolls into these interest rates, doesn't it?
It does, but it depends on what the Fed says. Remember, at Jackson Hole last month, the Fed pivoted with their words only, without any action. We've already seen the bond market yields drop across the board. So it depends on what they say along with the rate cut. Will Chair Powell say, we're continuing to look to ease, or will he say, we're going to pause here after one cut and wait and see? If the market doesn't like what he says, rates could actually go back up. Maybe the front running of rates cutting right now has been overdone. We'll have to wait and see.
All right. Now, let me ask you your opinion of this. If you do get a couple more cuts before the end of the year, get another one in October, another one in December, whatever, and there's also a prediction here of 3 more next year. I mean, that's gonna turbocharge the economy, is it not?
It will. Now, we do have weak jobs, but GDP looks good. Inflation is hotter than we'd like, but the markets are very hot. So I do worry about throwing gasoline on the fire, going back to like 1999 type markets. But the jobs have been weak, so that's how they justify a rate cut here. Now, if it helps the jobs, that would be great, but it also could heat up inflation, which would be terrible, and it could put the markets into a bubble territory, which we wouldn't like to see.
No.
So I think that they're probably going to take their time.
I mean, the Dow got over 46,000 there at one point. I mean, the Nasdaq's at 22.5, S&P at 6650. I mean, these numbers are. If my father was alive, he'd be going, I never thought that'd be possible. I remember when he said the Dow made 10,000. I never thought I'd live long enough to see that. I remember that day when he said that. I mean, and look, it's remarkable territory. What about gold? Does that have any concern for you? Gold setting all-time record highs. 30 new highs so far this year.
Yeah, gold is up like 50% year to date. So I would be looking to see what my percentage of gold in my portfolio is, and if it's getting to be too big, do a rebalance. There's no harm in taking some profits off the table and selling a little bit if you have too much, and rebalancing into what has been more weak. But also, Steve, if we have that chart to accompany this topic of international, right? There it is. So the U.S. has been, above those 2007 highs. You're looking at a chart that goes back to 2007.
Right.
The S&P, the Dow, NASDAQ, we left 2007 in the dust years ago, but the international markets have not. You can see the international are just now breaking above the 2007 highs. Now, this is very bullish. This is a breakout chart.
So what does that mean to me? It's a breakout chart. What are you telling me?
It means, and this is not a recommendation, but it means take a look at your international exposure. Most people who come to us as prospects have very little to no international exposure. And considering that they're so far behind the U.S. over the last 15 years, it's an interesting place to look, in my opinion.
Not advice, just an opinion, just so we're clear on that. PeakWM.com. We've got a QR code for you folks. If you ever want a second opinion, look, Nick is the guy. He's not a very excitable fella, except when Michigan plays football or something like that. But there it is, QR code, PeakWM.com.
Yeah, Steve, a big Michigan-Nebraska game on Saturday at 3:30 Eastern.
Well, see, I knew you'd know. Do you have tickets? Of course you do.
It's at Nebraska, so I'm going to sit this one out.
There you go. I did go to the Lions game on Sunday. First time I've been to a Lions game ever. It was a good day to go. Nick, I always appreciate you being here. Sue, it brings back after a very difficult, tough week. I don't think we're ever going to be the same, but some normalcy here and there is a good thing, I guess. Some normalcy. Nick Hopwood, founder, president, Peak Wealth, PeakWM.com, and that QR code on your screen. Fed cuts maybe tomorrow. We're looking for it. Nick, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break and be right back.